Hey, coffee experts. Those of you running independent coffee shops, you're always looking for ways that you can drop your costs. And we here at the Coffee Experts Club really understand that. And so we've started something called Indie Coffee Coalition. And what it's designed to do is to drop your costs on two of the things that you're probably experiencing the highest sales volume in your store. And that is energy drink and frat mix. Those two line items, we've created our own products and are offering you those products at a reduced cost so that you can cut out the Red Bull of America. You can cut out the main lines of energy drinks that you're doing and serve your own energy drink at a reduced cost on a line item that you're probably already making a lot of sales on anyway. The best way that you can grow sales is by dropping your costs and maintaining a current volume. So check us out at indiecoffee.co and we'll love to tell you more there.
Welcome to the Coffee Experts Club, where we discuss all of the insights, expertise, and drama that goes into making your passion your profession. Our hosts, Aaron, Ben, and Drew, are three coffee experts who have taken their coffee experience and turned it into true expertise. They have consulted with major coffee brands throughout the United States and beyond, providing operations expertise and growth strategy for drive-through openings, multiple locations, and everything in between. So brew yourself a cup and hang out a bit with the Coffee Experts Club.
Coffee Experts Club. I'm like, hold on a second. Don't do it. Okay, we're on. Ben Clatterbuck, great to see you. That little slacker, Drew Moody, is out doing errands on the island. I mean, man, it's tough living there in Belize. So
I'm drinking Mai Tais on the beach. Those are his errands on the island. I got to go do some work at the shop.
Had a real tough meeting I had to go sit in.
Talking to a parrot on the beach.
That's right, Drew. Well, I'll tell you what, all the grief we give Drew, man, I am so proud of what we're doing in Belize. First drive to coffee in Belize, Coffee de los Mayas definitely has been an awesome adventure. 3 stores in, dreaming about the 4th one, even though we had said we're going to slow down a little bit. I think that there could be some cool possibilities. So anyway, ideas for a different day, but Drew gets to taste of it by being down there a little bit more than me, although I am talking about going down beginning of next month, which will be awesome.
Nice. That's actually this is actually the start of the good season to go down there, right? You're going to miss all the rain that Drew's drowning in.
Well, yeah, but mosquitoes are pretty bad this season. Like that's the second part. And mosquitoes don't bother me too bad, but they eat Megan alive. Like it's bad. Anyway, excited to be down in Belize. Anyway, hey, I thought for our coffee experts today, we could talk about, we were just looking at domain addresses and it said payroll.sucks. And I'm like, yep, that pretty much summarizes what we're going to talk about today. So talking about finance and do you really know, right? Like that's the challenge I'd love to come and just bring to you today. I know this is the way I envision. I just had a conversation with somebody that runs finance for a big client just yesterday. And I said, I kind of think this is how it works for visionaries, CEOs, people that are running companies is they kind of keep an eye on their finance out of the corner of their eye. And they don't really want to look at it when it doesn't look good. And they only really want to look at it when sales are really high, right? A lot of people do what I would say is like checkbook accounting, which is they open up their checking account online, log into Chase or whatever it is, see what their bank account is. And they're like, yeah, we can afford that. Go ahead and go with it, right? Gut check, bank account, accounting. And I think that whereas in some things, when you're not like, I remember Wes used to do that all the time, right? Wes would have his panic moments when the bank accounts were dropped to a certain level.
Stop spending.
Freeze all cards across the board, no one spend, right? Or whatever. And I think it was because we were just looking at bank accounts. And I think that, but when you're talking about 15 stores, that like any month, you're talking about millions of dollars coming through your bank account, right? So I think that it can drop your anxiety a little bit because you're probably not feeling the bottom. But if you're running 1 or 2 shops, like payroll does suck. Like, man, on payroll weeks, everybody freeze, nobody spend nothing.
Yep.
Payroll's expensive, right? Payroll taxes are expensive, all things that come with it. And so I think a lot of owners just don't really look at it that close and only keep an eye on their bookkeeping and have schlepped or on their banking account, right? And have schlepped their duties off onto some bookkeeper, their mom, their wife, some lady or dude that works for a bookkeeping shop that like, do they even understand coffee though? Like, do they understand what your goals are? Do they understand what you're trying to do? So I just thought we could talk today about what's important to keep your eye on when it comes to banking and payroll and finance when it comes to your coffee shop.
And money going out versus money coming in. We have a client who, the way they order their dry goods, they're always paying essentially a month behind, right? Because they order the dry goods for the shops and they get invoiced at the end of the month. So that payment, if they're ordering and selling goods for their shop in March, well, they actually pay for that in April.
Hmm.
Well, what happens if March was a sucky month and now you've got a giant cost that's coming out in April
Yep.
and you're praying to God that April's a good month because you
Right.
got to cover the last poor month. So like stuff like that can spiral really quickly if you're just doing your checking account checks. Like if I'm
Yep.
just running based off of like how I feel my bank account is looking, and I'm not thinking like, oh, but wait, I've got I've got 25K in my account right now, but I haven't paid for my cost of goods yet. That actually comes out next week in April, and all of a sudden you get that dark cloud that settles over, and you go, "Holy shoot, what am I gonna do?" Because you've
Yeah.
just been running week to week based off of what's in your account and not looking at the entire picture of your finances. That is where the stress of being a 1 to 2 coffee shop owner and trying to bootstrap up everything together on your own, that's where it really kicks in. But we joke a lot of the times about how employees and employee relations, they can be good, they can kill you if you've got bad employees. That the stress of the finances, if you are just watching them out of the corner of your eye, like most people tend to do, that stress alone is enough to make you go, I don't want to do this anymore. This isn't worth it.
Which is so sad, right? So like, let's just ease some people's conscience today, because maybe you're hearing this today and you're like, son of a bitch, these guys are going to talk about finance right now. Holy shoot. That looks, well, man, I love it. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, holy shoot, but like, I don't really want to talk about this. Can I just like take some pressure off you? This doesn't make you a bad business owner.
Yep.
Doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. Like you shouldn't either get, there's two different sides of it, right? Either you get super frustrated because people are talking about things you don't really feel confident in. So it makes you frustrated, or you just like turn into a shame spiral where you're just like, I knew it. I knew I sucked. You know what I mean? Or like you can get really down on yourself. You probably kick ass at coffee. That's why you're in business. That's why you're opening
Mhm.
multiple locations. That's why you're growing your coffee empire. Or right. That's why you want it to grow. Like you've got these skills where you're really good with people. You're really good with the craft, right? You're really good as far as like making the drinks and making them beautiful and the experience great. And maybe you're good at car times, and maybe you're pretty good at inventory management, these different things. But this area of finance, like it makes you angsty. I would say, let me tell you this. We work with a lot of coffee. We do a lot of coffee consulting. We talk with people all the time. I would say majority of coffee shop owners are not good at this. This is
Mhm.
not something they're good at. So if you're feeling that way today, let's just take the pressure off of you. You don't have to be good at this to be a good coffee shop owner. Like I think that some people are good at this stuff, some people are not. So I would say the place you have to get down to the bottom of is two different parts of it. Because my dogs are going to apparently bark through this whole. I just apologize for that early on. You got to number one come to, am I going to do this myself, or am I going to bring somebody else in to do it for me? Right.
Mhm.
Those are the two things you got to come up with. And maybe in the beginning you had to do it by yourself because you had no one else to ask. But like, I think really quickly you got to determine, is this a continued something I want to be doing, or do I need to bring somebody in?
Mhm. I mean, there's I feel like if you were a coffee shop owner and you were really good with finance, you probably wouldn't be a coffee shop owner. You'd probably be doing something in the finance sector. I mean, let's be honest, like anybody who's really good and sharp when it comes to finances, if that was where your gifted skill set was, you probably wouldn't be doing something that was so human focused, that was so craft and creatively focused. Like it's just personalities, they just don't line up. The typical coffee shop owner doesn't have the personality of somebody who is an accountant. Those are 2 very different types of people. So, yeah, to your point, like, don't feel bad that you're not good at it. I know I'm not good at it, and I don't even run multiple locations. I have a small LLC that I work through with the Collab team. The second I got it, I was like, "I ain't touching none of those finances because I suck." What did I do? I'm like, "I'm gonna go hire a CPA." But it's an expense, but I know my skill set, and instead of, like, having to try and shuffle it aside and just, not worry about it, and if I don't worry about it, then the problem will go away, just I at least have spent enough time in the industry, and I've seen enough of our clients go through that angst and pain to know, like, I should get somebody to do this for me ASAP. If I'm not good at it, somebody else is out there that is good at it and will curb that stress before it hits.
Yep. I think that, and then so when you start thinking like that, so if you want to try and do it yourself, this is the best advice I can give you. Coffeeexpertsacademy.com. Go check it out. Like I think we do 4 different episodes on finance and the things you need to look at, how to organize your chart of accounts, how to read your profit loss statements, different things that's just good education for you to understand. These are the numbers we think are the most important things for you to pay attention to. That's if you're going to try it yourself. If you're going to hand it off somebody else, I would say like make sure that person is good at what you need them to be good at, right? Because
Mhm.
not all bookkeepers, not all accountants are equal, right? Like, do they understand your business? And I'd say, man, really do some due diligence on that. Are they doing other coffee shops? Do they understand what cost of goods should be? Do they understand your labor model? You know what I mean? Like, do they understand what your
Mhm.
big goals are? Because otherwise, you start having somebody do the thing that you're not very good at, thinking that they're going to do it better. And then they push you results. And then if you meet with somebody like us, where we were like, hey, well, let us take a look at your P&Ls, and they push the P&Ls, and like, and I can tell you this, a lot of bookkeeping shops that we work with push over P&L, and I'm like, "Oh, what am I supposed to do with this? Like all the
Mhm.
COGS, all the cost of goods are all rolled up into one thing. Like I can't break it down and tell you, are you spending too much on this? Are you spending too much on that? Are you spending like we have
Yeah.
very drilled in like metrics that we help people identify to get down to the best net they can, like the best money left in their pockets we can get down to, but they have to be lined out the right way. Otherwise, it's very hard to determine how do we help you save money? Like how are we doing our labor? Where are things being tucked in? Where are you taking personal member draws and different pieces that should be coming out to you as the owner? I think all those things are important. So I would say if you are going to go to professionals, make sure that they've worked with somebody like you before. I know our team does a lot of finance work for coffee shops, and we'll come in and we'll help different coffee shops to handle things like their payroll, handle their books, handle how they're paying their vendors, give them some consulting on what they should be looking like in their finance. So if you ever wanted us to take a stab at your stuff, we would love to do that. Payroll.coffee, if you just want to go check out what we do. But I would just say, like, really get an idea of, am I going to do this myself? And how can I get some training? I just gave you, I would just go to our stuff because it's cheap and it's easy and it's coffeeexpertsacademy.com, or find somebody that knows what they're doing. And if you can't find somebody in your area that you're confident with, like we would love to help you with finance,
Mhm.
payroll.coffee. I mean, I think that it's just easy to do when you have the right people doing your stuff.
I mean, I think, yeah, the COGS breakdown alone, if you are working with, a bookkeeper, CPA, whatever it might be, uh, if you're working with somebody who knows to break out your COGS from just section 1 COGS, that's it. If you can work with somebody who knows that, like, hey, your COGS should be broken out into dairy, dry goods, energy drinks, beans, frat mix, whatever it is, somebody who knows that coming in, working with you, because that immediately gives you a step ahead of going back to your location managers or your regional managers if you have multiple locations, and you can say, hey, beans are too high. That's where all my money's going. It's going to beans. But if you're working with a bookkeeper who just gives you COGS, like that's so
Mhm.
like we've got to cut costs where I don't know, just in the money that we're spending. That doesn't help. Like you're gonna be hitting your head up against the wall so much trying to figure out what you're spending too much money on if it's just all lumped up into that COGS. But if you can look at across a line item over multiple months and say we are spending too much on beans, like month over month over month, that's what's killing me. That's what's killing my bank account. Then we can go in and say, okay, how can we cut that cost? Do we need to change roasters? Do we need to think about moving that in-house? Do we need to see if we can, cut out some sort of middleman? Like you don't see that until you see that line item month over month trend of I'm spending way too much. And then especially if you can, if even if you're going with just coffeeexperts.academy.com and we help you line out like these are the important numbers to watch. Like if you are spending 35 or if 12% of your gross sales is in beans, I would go, might be a little on the high side,
Yeah.
just to FYI.
Yeah.
Or, if my total COGS with all of these rolled up into it is more than 55%, I'm going to go, that's way off. There's something that's inside that number that should be broken down below to tell you that you're just losing money out out the window. Or honestly, it could just be theft walking out the back door. We talked about that a few weeks ago too.
That's right. No, I think otherwise it leaves you really driverless. It's like, how do I know how to control the wheel? I know how to make a good cup of coffee. I know how to keep the customers happy. But if I don't know how to keep the money in the right spot, then that's going to really start affecting your ability, right? Your ability to do the things you know you're good at. And so I would say, whether you're doing it yourself or you're asking somebody to do it for you, especially though, if you're asking somebody to do it for you, I would ask them to, at the end of the month, send you a report. Like, and this is the way we do reports. So maybe, and send them this podcast. And maybe just ask your bookkeeper to do this. But I would say, be careful, because a lot of times bookkeepers are doing bookkeeping for everybody, right? So it's for a
Mhm.
construction outfit, and then they're doing it for the attorney up the street, and then they're doing it for this retail like clothing store down the way. And like all of these different business models, there are different nuances that you want to be good at. And you find somebody that knows coffee, find somebody that can help you, give you some advice on things, right? So at the end of every month, as they pull a report, a lot of times bookkeepers or even accountants at times will push you a set of reports that you're like, uh, what do, what do I do with that? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know where to go with that, you know? So then you feel like even dumber, like even more dumb asking the questions, right? So I would say, hey, when you send me your reports, will you do me a favor? Will you create just a quick video for me? Just a quick loom, walking me through what you think my eye should be drawn to. And this is the way we do books. So what we do it for people is send me at the end of the month where you're lining it out, January through August, right? And let me see the movement in each one of these things month
Mhm.
by month side. And then if I've got multiple locations, show me the location side by side. How did this store do against this store and these key percentages that we're looking at? And then you can begin to identify, okay, so what's going on here that's not going on here? Because it seemed that you can just begin to see things when people train your eye on what to look at, but this is their skill set, right? Like make them show you
Yeah.
what to put your eye on. And then that's how you make your decisions, because that's when you begin to pare down this cost. And we need to find a new vendor for that then. Oh, it looks like labor is going off the chain here. What's going on? You can lean in. Oh, it's because their scheduling matrix is off. They're not watching their cups sold, and therefore they're not sending people, they're not cutting people loose enough to go home to keep our labor numbers down. That your managers or your people that are handling the actual managing of the shop, they're going to do whatever works best for them, right? So maybe
Mhm.
they don't like confrontation. Maybe they don't like sending people home. Maybe they like buying a bunch of stuff and just leaving on the shelf so they never run out of it. Well,
Yep.
all of those things are going to cost you money, and you need to know where your money's sitting so that you can sleep easier at night. That's the most important thing.
Yep. There's nothing more stressful than seeing a problem and just not knowing where to start. Like that's the thing that stresses me out the most is like I'm like, I know this is so wrong and I don't know what to do about it. Like
Yeah.
if you'd said, here's a problem, here's how you fix it, and I'm just not able to fix it, that's stressful. But if I
Yeah.
even know how to or even start to figure out how to fix it, like that is the most stressful because then it's just like this. It feels like this monkey that's never going to get off your back because you
Yeah.
just never know how to fix it. If you can find some people that say, "Hey, I've done this before with other coffee shops. Here's what they've done. Here's how they handle their finances. Here's how I would recommend looking at your finances." There's a lot of numbers on the sheet. This spreadsheet is 94 lines long. You should look at line 25, line 43, and
Yeah.
line 78, and
Yep.
just focus on those. Just look at your COGS, your labor, and your sales. Just focus
Yep.
on those for the next couple months. Let's get those in line. Then we can go back and start looking at, okay, what are our leases? What are our payroll taxes? Yada, 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 yada.
Yep.
But unless you have somebody that's going to help walk you through that, if you're just doing on your own, you can. And obviously with Coffee Experts Academy and our podcast, that's what we're here to help with.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier if you've got somebody who knows what they're doing to help do that for you or with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and on top of, I think what's so cool, like what I love that we get to do for folks is like, so we just did this yesterday. I pushed out the report from the month of July to clients, and I'm like, hey, and I pull everything into Google Sheets, right? Because therefore it's a free platform. We're all looking at the same thing. I can comment on that cell, highlight the things I want them to look at. So then I create a video real quick for them on, hey, these are the things I want your eyes drawn to. I ask them the question inside each cell. They can open it up. They can see what the questions are, and they can have the conversation. And I know for this particular client, I'm like, hey, why don't we just lean in and help you with scheduling? Like, would you mind if we just did that? Like, maybe they're having a hard time holding the line, right? And so let's just create a WhatsApp channel and let's call it scheduling. And then will you drop me and like these two different people on our team in, and then just let us drive the policy forward. And then as people try and they're dealing with a lot of people wanting to like switch shifts last minute, and it's really stressful. And so like, let us hold the line. No. This is the new policy. You can't change shifts in this window of time. If shift changes happen, they happen right here. So we see them. That way we can go in and approve them. They use home base, so we can approve the different requests, but let's drop it into something and we can help you manage that forward. Hey, your labor percentage is way too high. How am I going to bang that labor percentage down? Well, why don't you bring in somebody that can help you with your scheduling matrix and then help you schedule your people and then help your people be held to that schedule? I think just find people that it doesn't all have to be you. Right? I guess that's what I'm trying to tell you right now is to be an owner of a coffee shop, it shouldn't all have to be you. And if you have those people internal, awesome. But if you don't, find people that you can trust. And it doesn't have to be us. I don't want you to hear me say today, hey, come hire us to do everything. All I'm saying is identify what it is that you do best, get into that lane, and then find somebody that can help you with the other things. And a lot of times owners are like, well, nobody else can do it like I do it, or I don't know if I can trust anybody. Well, unless you love doing everything forever, we're going to have to try, we're going to have to try other people out. And are they going to fail? And are they going to make mistakes? Probably. But like the hope would be if it's the right person and we train them over time, they're going to make less and less mistakes. And eventually you get out learning.
Yep, exactly. I think I can't count how many times we've said that now. If you're an owner and you want to just do everything all the time, including wake up at 4:45 in the morning to open the location every day of the week, God bless you. But if you don't, you got to find help from somewhere.
Yep. So my encouragement to you is identify what it is you love about what you do and live there. Anything that you don't love that you do, think about ways you could hand that off. If you can hand it off to somebody internal, great. If you have to hire it out temporarily and train somebody internal, that's great. I love doing that for people too. Like let somebody shadow us. I don't want you to be connected to me forever. How can I empower you? That's our whole mission here, especially for our little independents. Like we don't want you dependent on us forever. We want to get you on your own 2 feet. So figure out what it is you would love doing, hand off the things that you don't love doing. If you want some education around finance, coffeeexpertsacademy.com. We spend 4 modules on that, just walking you through it, show you how to line out your P&L, show you how to look at your reporting, show you how to really pare down your costs and what things you should be looking at to increase your bottom line. Or if you're like, I just, like Ben, you were saying, I don't really love getting deep in it like that. And you want to hire it out somebody else, hire somebody that knows what they're doing with coffee. And if you want us to take a look at it for you, we'd love to. Payroll.coffee. But anyway, coffee experts, keep shining, keep being amazing. You're doing awesome stuff. We want to be out there to empower you. Ben Clatterbuck, awesome talking to you today, buddy.
Yes, sir. We'll talk to y'all later.
See ya.
See you guys.
Thanks so much for joining us today. For those of you who are looking to become a coffee expert yourself, we offer an incredible, thorough training online for opening your first coffee drive-thru at www.myfirstdrivethru.coffee.